Hi guys, my name is Lawrence Baker. I'm an Adobe certified expert in Photoshop CC and Photoshop Lightroom. You'll have to excuse my eyes today guys, I've got hay fever and they're really red and sore. But anyway, this video is about why you shouldn't buy brushes and development presets from other people. And what annoys me is these particular people often will have Lightroom videos on YouTube. Teaching you Lightroom seems to be counterintuitive to sell you a brush, because if you're learning Lightroom, you'll understand that using a brush is very, very simple. Maybe they don't teach you how to use a brush, so you buy their brushes. Honestly, there's guys out there who've been photographers for a couple of years. They've got Lightroom videos. They're part of a big media group, and I won't say what that media group is, but I think you know what I'm talking about if you've been on YouTube for a while. And I'm not saying their books aren't any good. What I'm saying is that selling brushes is a bit disingenuous. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So F8, I've got the right hand side panel up. Adjustment brush, and it should be called adjustment brush. We could go to tools, adjustment brush. You'll notice the K by the side, K for kilo, to select the brush. I can select it here, or I can press K on the keyboard. I've already got a brush there called Mug Me Off. I've been playing around. I'm going to reset that now. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is Lightroom is not designed like Photoshop. Now with Photoshop, you can buy brushes or get brushes online. And Photoshop's a bit more difficult to create a brush. It's a bit of a learning curve with Photoshop brushes. But you'll notice if you have to load in someone else's brushes or presets into Lightroom, you have to go into the Finder in Mac or the Explorer in Windows and copy them in, close Lightroom down and bring it back up. Now in Photoshop, you just download the brush, double click on it, and it'll be there in Photoshop. You can load it in and do all sorts of things, save it, etc, etc. So from the straight off, Lightroom is not designed for other people's brushes and presets. And you'll find that the people that are selling you brushes go to great lengths to show you how to get the brushes in, because a lot of non-technical people don't get it, and they have to have very detailed instructions of how they get these brushes in. And by the way, they're not called brushes as far as Lightroom's concerned, they're called templates. Anyway, let's get on. Let's create a brush here. I'm going to reset this brush by double clicking on effect and get everything to 0. Right, what am I going to do? Let's say I want to make that water a bit more watery. So I'm going to start very quickly, because this is not about the brush as such. I want to make it quite green as well. Exposure, I might bring it down for a bit of effect. Contrast up. Highlights, well, I might bring them up. Shadows, clarity, quite a lot. Saturation, reasonably high. Sharpness, noise, moire, and defringe. I'll cover them in another video. Colour, you can put a colour overlay on, which is quite good really, because it would save you playing around with the temperature slider here. You can use it, guys. It's there to be used. I'll cover it in another video. Size, feather and flow, and auto mask and density I will cover in another video. Let's get on and paint this water. I've got auto mask on, which should help me stay to the edges of the water. As you can see, it's quite disgusting at the moment, but that's not a problem. I've got a bit of feathering on this brush, so I'll probably get inside that grass there. It does a very good job, auto mask, when it works. And it works for me a lot of the time. And I might have to go and tidy it up occasionally, but I'm quite happy with it. I've got a lot of lag on my PC. I call it a PC even though it's a Mac, because it's still a personal computer. Because the Mac isn't perfect, by the way. Right, I've done that. I made that water very blue. I don't like it. I'm going to play around with it a little bit, bring it down a little bit. Actually make it a little bit more green so it's a bit more weirder. Bring it down, make the exposure down a bit. Yeah, that's it. Highlights, I bring them up slightly so that the white bits are showing up quite well. I'm getting a bit of lag here, guys. I'm sorry. Shadows. Yeah, I could play around with that a bit. What I'm getting at is I've created a brush. Now, all I have to do is go up to custom here, because I've created a custom brush. I can now go save current settings as new preset. Give it a name. What a fool. Create it. And I can now go out to my presets folder under user presets, package it up and sell it to you as a brush. And honestly guys, that's all a brush is. And I get really annoyed when people are selling brushes. Now presets, there is a little bit more complexity to them. I'm going to reset that now. So we've lost the changes. Press F7, get the left hand panel up. Go to presets. Now, Lightroom shits with all these presets. Let me close this brush panel down. That's the changes I've done. Now, if I click one of these, like infrared, you can see it's turned it from a HSL, hue, saturation, luminance or colour, into black and white, played with the sliders and played with the basic panel to come up with this effect. Now, I'll check the tone curve while I'm here. It's done a little bit of a change on the tone curve. It's played around with it slightly, very slightly. In fact, it's used a preset called strong contrast. So it might have touched split toning, but no, it hasn't. It very rarely will. Lens corrections, it definitely won't touch. It might touch the detail panel. Let's have a look. No, it seems to be all at default, except for colour noise. The smoothness is up to 96. Anyway, there's been a few changes. Let's say I didn't like that setting. I'll pick another one, orange filter. Let's say I didn't like this and I wanted to make it a bit brighter. Now, I could go like this, bring up the highlights, bring up the blue, make the blues a little lighter. Now, I've now changed that preset. Now, I could go up to here, go develop new preset, give it a name, tick the boxes that I want to use. It's very straightforward. Or I could just go to the plus icon here. Sorry about that, guys, must have zoomed in. And do exactly the same and create the preset. It's as simple as that. So my argument against presets, even the ones that ship with Lightroom and the ones you might create yourself, is they're not going to fit every photograph. They might put you some way towards being in the right place, but every photograph is different or image is different. So I use them with great care. I very rarely use them. I say when I go to black and white, I use a plugin from Nik, N-I-K, and I'm not trying to push it. I'm just telling you it's very good. It's called Silver Effects EFEX Pro. But anyway, I've never used these presets because every photograph is different. But what I'm trying to get to you is it's very, very, very easy to create your own presets. It's so easy. So to learn Lightroom, you mustn't be using presets because they're someone else's presets unless you create your own. I've had my wins, guys. I hope you've got something from this. Thanks very much, guys.